He looks like he owns credit. Oh my gosh. Man like Arthur from Batman.
Namaste, Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, hola, good morning, privet. How are you? I hope you're well. This is Ken at 10, and it is the 24th of April, 2023, coming to you live, as always, from our offices in southwest London, Norbury, SW16, which is between Streatham to the north, Croydon to the south. How are you? Hope you had a nice weekend. Happy St. George's Day for then, and Eid Mubarak to all of our friends that celebrated over the weekend. And a special thanks to Miran, who brought our usual curry. Which he always does kindly, because part of the celebration is food, obviously. And he always brings in a beautiful curry for us all, made by his lovely wife. So thank you, Miran, if you're watching. How are you? I hope you're well. As far as the weekend's concerned, we had the fantastic London Marathon. I always think the marathon's such a fantastic event. So much money raised by so many, and such an achievement as well. 26-mile run. That's not nothing, right? It's amazing. So credit to you if you went out and did that over the weekend. And did you get the alert yesterday at 3 p.m.? Did it spook you, or were you expecting it? I hope you were expecting it. This week, we've got the Pollards Hill Residents Association meeting, which I'm looking forward to providing an award to someone there. It's going to be a big surprise to them, I hope, and excited to do that and do a little chat about what I've learned in 30 years of estate agency. A bit of a humorous one this time around. A little talk before they have a few much more important people than I coming on. A few headlines for you today. First one is property prices for first-time buyers reach record highs. Now, I was also reading just over the weekend that 40-year mortgages are now becoming the norm for first-time buyers. And these two headlines kind of dovetail, don't they? With prices so high, Bank of Mum and Dad or Bank of Granny and Granddad can only go so far, right, towards helping people out. So therefore, it's a struggle for people. So the old 25-year mortgages that the older ones amongst us were used to now are high as 40 years. 40-year mortgages. It's extraordinary when you think about it. And if you go to places like Japan, they've actually got intergenerational mortgages where you pass your debts on to your family member before they're even old enough to work. Extraordinary to think of that, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. But what Rightmove say, according to the Times, is that the average price of a home for a first-time buyer, can you guess? What do you think the average price would be? I'll come back to that in a minute. Have a guess. Comment below, please. They found that sales volumes for properties typically favoured by first-time buyers were up 4% from March 2019, while homes a step up the ladder remained 4% behind. So it's interesting that the first-time buyer homes are picking up, which is good to see. Tim Bannister said that he's the head of data. He's the big cheese there in terms of the data. Lovely guy. He said that the figures portrayed a multi-speed market. And I think that's a fair analysis as well, in that the hectic activity fueled by sales during the pandemic has faded. Agents are reporting many sellers have transitioned out of the frenzied multi-bid market mindset of recent years and have become much more realistic because they've had to set a competitive price in order to sell. Daily Telegraph reports something you and I already know. Landlords are selling up. Buy-to-let landlords in London are selling their properties at the fastest rate in the country due to rising mortgage costs and low rental yields, according to Zoopla. In the first 3 months of 2023, 26% of homes listed for sale in the capital had been previously let out. That's huge, isn't it? Double the national average of 11%. And in Scotland, just 5% of homes listed for sale during the period had previously been let out. The excess of landlords driven by a combination of punitive taxes and mortgage rates. And of course, in Scotland, they've got rent controls as well, which has frightened a lot of landlords out of the market. And of course, Section 24, those of you who know me will know that I think that was a big nail in the coffin as far as buy-to-let was concerned. And let's see, let's have a look. The Bank of England base rate, will it go up, Tariq? Yeah, I think it will, Tariq. I think we're looking at another increase on the 11th of May. Inflation isn't going down as quickly as expected. I suspect that we're in for another rise of 0.25%. 0.25 basis points or 0.25, a quarter of 1%. Now, of course, just because base rates go up doesn't necessarily mean that variable rates will follow. It doesn't mean that fixed rates will follow. It does mean that variable rates will follow and tracker rates will follow that extra 0.25%. But actually, if you're looking at fixed rates, some of the longer term fixed rates now, there are a lot of good deals around 4%, not financial advice, seek advice from an IFA if you think of getting a mortgage. But there are a lot of good rates around 2 years for 4% now. That's significantly down on a couple of months ago. And that's interesting because interest rates were actually lower a couple of months ago than they are now. And it goes to demonstrate that the base rate's not the only important figure when it comes to mortgages. It's the swap rates. And that's the rates at which markets anticipate the market will head. My guess to you, Tarek, would be that the mortgage rates will go up 0.25%, gut feeling, and I think that will probably be the high point. My gut feeling is that we will see it tail off after that. I'm not sure how quickly. That depends on inflation, and that is so variable at the moment and is proving very stubborn. So it'd be interesting to see. But thanks for the question, Tarek. The answer to the question, by the way, average first-time buyer price, 224,963,000. Of course, 963 pounds. Of course, much higher here in London. First-time buyers in London would be paying considerably more than that just to get on the ladder. So it's frustrating for people. As far as the market's concerned, we're still busy, actually, particularly in the higher ranges. People are still out there and they're still making buying decisions. Low ranges, as you've seen, first-time buyers are back into the market, which is good to see. We're still seeing an influx of ex-buy-to-let properties coming to market. That trend will continue for the rest of this year, in my view, unless there's a dramatic change of government policy, which is highly unlikely, given we're that close to an election. So what I suspect is more buy-to-let properties will be switching for sale, and those will be snapped up by first-time buyers. And that is the area where I think we'll see more supply of properties and therefore price pressure is in the smaller flats, particularly 1 and 2 bedroom flats. As far as houses are concerned, 3 and 4 bedroom houses in our area is still in very good demand. And on the rental side, there's no stock, as we've already spoken about. So rents are high and getting higher. And actually, they talk about 5% in a year. I would say that the rate of rent price inflation is way above that. You know, I was just speaking to a landlord the other day where we'd increase the rent by £600 per calendar month by reletting to a new tenant. And that is, you're talking 25% if you look at that one alone. So rental price inflation is crazy. It's getting really tough out there for people. And I say that with no glee because it's really hard for people, and particularly tenants that are struggling already. It's proving very, very difficult for them to find a home to live in. Very frustrating. What's the answer? Well, it's a combination of things in my view. Number one, more house building. Number two, look for places where we can build houses we haven't considered before, such as all these vacant shops everywhere. What about converting those to residential? What about all these shopping centres? What about Croydon, Whitgift? All of those homes, all of those shops could be homes, you know. So my view is that we do have things that we could do and we're not doing it. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, you need to have the private landlord confident in the market and incentivized to let properties out. If there's no business case for it, guess what? They'll go and do something else with their money. And that's not good for the wider housing market because we need mobility, particularly here in London, where people come for jobs. People need to have somewhere to go. That end of rent. So thank you very much for watching. As far as the week's concerned ahead, lots of valuations coming in. So thank you if you've chosen to get us around to provide a valuation for you. We're always delighted to come and see you and hear about your circumstances and hope we can help you. If you're with another agent, which seems to be the common thread from most of the valuations I'm getting right now, then we need to talk. If it's not going, things aren't going well, then let's talk anyway. We can come together with a plan and a strategy to make sure that you get what you need. Your home sold for the best price with the best agent that's got your back. That's us. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Till then, look after yourself. And if you can, your family and friends. Ciao.